Hello and welcome to episode number 6 of Ramblings and Revelations with Coach Chevz. I'm so happy you're here today. Um, I actually was thinking what to talk about this week. A couple of topics came to mind, and then as I was running this morning, this quote by Dan Millman was just ringing in my head, and I said, "Okay, I guess that is the topic that I'm going to be discussing." Um, because it was just running through my head nonstop. So I figured, okay. So here goes. This is the quote, and then we'll discuss. Well, today's topic, first of all, is about love. We're going to talk about love. Not love in the sense of like romantic love, love in the sense of, to a certain degree, it's the essence of who we are. Not to a certain degree, it's actually unlimited, but love is the essence of who we are. Okay, bear with me. That didn't sound very attractive. So let's just dive right in and stop getting all technical. The quote that was running through my head goes as follows. It's by Dan Millman. I first heard it in the movie A Peaceful Warrior. It's my favorite movie of all time ever. I highly recommend watching it. Excuse me. The quote goes like this: a warrior does not give up what he loves. He finds the love in what he does. I kind of like changed that a little bit, and I see it as a warrior doesn't necessarily do what he loves, but rather finds the love in what he does. Because I was running this morning and I was like, it was starting to get challenging, and I was like, I don't even like running. And the truth is, I do enjoy running, but there's a part of me that's like, it's hard, it's uncomfortable. It was really warm out this morning. Um, and I was getting tired, and my body was tired, and I was pushing myself. And I was like, why are you doing this? Like, why are you putting yourself through this? And I have a rule in life. My number one rule in life is that I only do what I absolutely enjoy doing. So it can sometimes get difficult because if I don't like running, but I do want to be running, excuse me, but I do want to be running, then it can get really, really tough, right? Like if I am like getting tired and I'm like, well, I only do what I really enjoy, and now I'm not enjoying, do I just stop right here and walk home? So then this quote popped into my head, and I was like, well, you don't really have to love everything you do, because I don't always love running. I don't always love working out. I don't always love moving my body. I don't always love working specifically. Like I don't love working. I don't love, I don't know, doing tasks that are challenging for me. I don't think any of us do. I mean, well, wait, okay. Maybe some of us do. Now we're going to dive right in. So I was thinking about it, and then I just started thinking about all the things that I love about running, because I don't necessarily always love running, but there are many things that I love about running. And I looked up and I saw that I was running on the beach. Not that I didn't know that beforehand. Like it's not that I just woke up on the beach. I brought myself there. But I looked around and I was like, wow, I really love nature. And I continued looking and continued doing the running, and I recognized that I really love the way I feel when I run. I love the way my body runs, like the way I feel light and I can just go. And I love the way that I see the world when I'm running. The world seems just brighter. So yes, while I don't always necessarily love the way it feels to be moving my body so rigorously, there are aspects of running that I do love. And it made the run so much more pleasant and so much easier to handle. Um, and so that's kind of where I'm bringing this quote from. Uh, it popped into me during my run. And so I figured I would make a podcast about it, because I realized that probably a lot of people struggle with that, because we do in our regular everyday life have to do things that we don't want to do. Like, I don't know if you all love doing laundry. I don't know if you all love, doing the dishes or showing up to work or dealing with difficult people or I don't know, there's so many tasks during the day that like we don't necessarily love as adults, like as humans. Everybody's got their own, right? Some people love some things and some people love other things. That just goes to show us that, first of all, it's not the thing per se that is hated, right? If there are some people that absolutely love doing dishes, I enjoy dishes. That's not something, like washing the dishes is not something that bothers me. And I have a friend who absolutely despises it. Like, to her, that is like, oh my gosh, like, I don't want to do, like, that is the last task she will do if she absolutely needs to. And so it made me realize, first of all, it's not the task that's the issue, but usually it's going to be our thinking about the task, because the dishes are just dishes. And I actually thought about that a lot because I deal with aerial acrobatics, right? Like, it's a lot of people absolutely hate heights, and I absolutely love heights. So it's not the heights itself that's the problem. It's the way we perceive the heights. Okay. Did you follow that? It was just a little, I slipped in a little thing. Anyways, getting back to where we were. Basically, I think the idea of finding the love in the tasks that we don't necessarily enjoy doing makes it so much easier to do the tasks. I love having an empty sink, so it makes doing the dishes worthwhile. I love having an empty laundry basket, so it makes doing laundry worthwhile. I love having a clean house. It makes straightening up my house worthwhile. I love having money in my account. It makes working worthwhile. Right? So all of these tasks, when I look at what it is that I love, it all of a sudden makes the task not as overwhelming, because you can't have an empty sink without doing the dishes. I mean, you could if you just don't use dishes, but don't tell anyone I said that. I that's not a life hack that I'm offering. I mean, it's a life hack, but it's not a life hack that I'm offering. You can choose to do what you want with that, okay? Anyways, getting back to where we were at. I remember when I was younger, this is totally just going a little bit off topic here because we're still talking about love. And I remember when I was younger, I'm the youngest of 8 children, and I still am. It's not just when I was younger. And I used to believe that there wasn't enough love to go around. Like, I thought that, like, if I love, let's say, if I love vanilla ice cream, it means I love chocolate ice cream less. If I love playing basketball, it means I love playing soccer less. Like, I used to believe that there was a hierarchy of love. So with that understanding, I can understand how I love vacation more than I love working, right? So then there's like this hierarchy understanding. But then I remember I had a roommate, excuse me. I had a roommate while I was living in a dormitory when I was younger. And every single night I would ask her, who's your best friend? And she would say, so and so. I don't remember who it was. And I said, right, but you love me more, don't you? And she would say, I love you different. And I never got it. I was like, well, if you love me different, that means you love me less. Like, there's, like, if she's your best friend, then you can't have 2 best friends. And I remember one night she just said to me, Chevy, I can love more than one person at a time. And my brain just went, that was my sound effect. But it was just such an incredible moment for me, because I honestly, I always thought that, like, there's only so much love to go around. So whether it's love of people or love of things, or like, if I hate work, then I can't find something at work that I love. Do you get it? Like, I just thought there was like, I don't like it, so I don't like it. There was nothing to find that I like. And I remember when she said that, she's got so much room in her heart to love. And I was just like, whoa. So, like, you can love more than one person at a time. And it was just such a moment where I felt like my entire world was just expanded, because even when you don't like a task per se, you can still find something in the task that's enjoyable and makes the task a lot more easier. That doesn't sound right, but a lot more easier, you know what I mean, to handle and get over. And it hit me, like, that was what was going through my brain this morning when I was running, right? Like, I love the scenery when I'm running. I love the way I feel. Like, I feel strong when I'm running. Yes, it's sometimes challenging. My feet sometimes hurt and I get thirsty and I feel, all sorts of things. But at the end of the day, there's so many aspects of running that I do love. And when you find the things that you love in the mundane, even in people, right? There are people that are just difficult to handle. And if we can, for me personally, like, I really try to find something that I love about people that are difficult to handle. And I try to state it to them so that it's like I'm really getting into it. It's not even necessarily for that person. It's more for me to really highlight the aspects of life that make me feel good. Like, it feels good for me to compliment somebody else, so I'll do it. It feels good for me to love somebody else, so I will do it. It feels good for me to be love, to live in love, so that is what I'll do. And if it doesn't feel good for me to be in and doing something that I don't like doing, either A, I'll find something I love in what it is that I do, because if it's something that I absolutely need to do, like, I don't know, file taxes or something, then I got to find something that I love in it, because otherwise I'm going to be abandoning my rule in life of only doing things that I absolutely enjoy. And I don't want to do that, because I want to enjoy life to its fullest every day, all day. Yeah. Sorry. I got excited about that. I got a little passionate there. Anyways, so yeah. Excuse me. I have a bit of a cough today. So that's basically where I'm getting at. Finding the love in what you do, even in the tasks that you don't want to be doing, in the tasks that aren't fun, in the tasks that are just blah, and you just have to do them anyways. Finding the love in there, finding something, even if it's just a teeny tiny spark, even that teeny tiny spark can make the whole experience just a tiny bit lighter. And if it makes it just a tiny bit lighter, then your next task might be a tiny bit lighter. And those tiny little things they add up to just a more enjoyable life. And that's always my goal, is to be enjoying life and to help others enjoy their lives. So yeah. Now, obviously, as always, I did go to ChatGPT and ask them. I did put in the topic. We'll see how well they did. At a brief glance before I even brought them in, I don't know that it did so well. So let's see. And if I don't like it, we'll just move on. Okay. Thank you for your agreement. I feel like you just said K to me. So thank you. I appreciate that. All right. Did you ever have a surprising moment where you found love in the most unexpected place? Share your quirky, off-the-wall examples with us. That's actually a really great question. I mean, I have moments like that in life. Like, I have moments where I'm doing something that I'm like, I really, really don't enjoy. Let's say, I mean, it's not even that I really don't enjoy it. Let's say, like, I remember studying statistics for my degree. And it was really challenging for me because I was studying in a second language. I'm just justifying why it was challenging. I usually enjoy numbers, but it was challenging because I was learning something new, and somehow, like, across the boards, all of the students in the class were like, statistics is the hardest subject and it's really challenging and it sucks. So I kind of, like, in my head had this like preconceived notion that it sucks. And while I started learning and I was getting things that were going on, I was like, that's not too bad. Like, it really wasn't so bad. It didn't suck that bad. So that was really fun to realize that, like, it might be that everybody hates this, but I can still love it. I can still enjoy it. I can still have a great time, even if the crowd, it happens. And it's not, I think there are plenty of people in the world that absolutely love statistics. Just happened to have been not the people I was hanging out with. And so I had this understanding that statistics is horrible. But yeah, I think I realized that I don't mind working with numbers. I really enjoy working with numbers. So that was fun. And it made it a lot easier to ace the exam and do really well in that subject. So that was fun. Yeah. Any other times? I mean, it happens on a regular basis, I think, like kind of in my run today, like I was saying earlier, right? Like, I realized I love running on the water, even though it was really challenging. I love the way I feel when I'm running. it's honestly, when I'm struggling, I really try to find something, even a tiny thing, a tiny, tiny, tiny thing. Like while I was running today, I found a seashell. That reminds me, I need to take it out of my pocket. I left it in my sweatshirt pocket. I found a seashell, and even just finding that seashell, I picked it up and it made me happy for a little bit. Like I was just like, wow, it's a really beautiful seashell. And I felt really happy that I found it. So I may raffle it off, I may not. Stay tuned. I haven't decided yet, but it's a really cool seashell. If I had it on me, I would show it to you here, but I don't. All right. So yeah, I think it's just finding little things that just make us happy in the tasks that we might be feeling a little uncomfortable doing. That really helps me personally. Uplift and feel better about doing those tasks. And it helps me get through them much quicker, much more easily, and much less exhausted. So yeah. All right, let's see what they hit us with next. Picture this. Ooh, are you listening? Your life is a love buffet. What is the weirdest dish on your plate right now that's bringing you joy? Even if it's just a sprinkle. I must say, I think the weirdest dish that is bringing me joy right now is that question. Like, this question is amazing. I have no idea what it's asking me. Excuse me. I have absolutely no idea what it's asking me, like a weird dish on my plate from a love buffet, that's bringing me joy, a sprinkle of joy. It's just such a great question. It's bringing me joy that they asked me such a great question. Yeah, I don't know what else. Maybe sometimes just nature and birds, but that just sounds very cliche and like, oh, nature and birds makes me happy. It does. It truly does. I don't know why I'm like joking about it, but like it sounds classic. It's not a weird dish on my plate. The weird dish on my plate, I think, is this interesting question from AI. So, all right. Let's talk about unlimited love. How do you tap into the energy of boundless love, not just for people, but for things, situations, or even your morning routine? I think tapping into unlimited love, first of all, I don't think we need to tap in. I think we are already there, every single one of us. Like the moment we remember that we're there, we're there. Like we don't have to like do anything to tap in. We just have to remember that we are limitless love. Our essence, our energy, our being is limitless love. And I think the moment we don't give so much attention to the noisy thoughts in our head of, oh, I hate this task, oh, this person's so annoying, oh, blah, 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 all that noise, the moment we just don't even give it that much attention, yes, it might come up and yes, it might be annoying, but the moment we just let it be, is the moment we tap into that limitless love, is the moment I think we're always tapped in, but we sometimes may lose contact with it when we're so consumed with like how much we're not enjoying life right now. And when we realize that we can let go of that, we're there, we're tapped in. So that's a great question, fun question, and it was good question. All right, next. They say laughter is the best medicine. How do you infuse love and humor into your daily interactions, making even the most mundane moments a part of your love buffet? Okay, I don't know why. This reminded me of a really funny story. I spent a couple of months in the psych ward a number of years ago because I was suicidal and I was really sad and I hated my life. I'm sorry. So I remember I was spending a couple of I was there, and when like you're just kind of, you wake up and you think something to yourself, so you kind of mumble it to yourself. I don't remember what it was exactly. It was probably something along the lines of like, oh, I want to go get a cigarette or something because I smoked back then, and I kind of mumbled it to myself. Now in the psych ward, there's video cameras all around, and all of a sudden I look up and I'm like, oh no, they're gonna see that I'm talking to myself and they're gonna give me more meds. Yikes! And then I just burst out laughing at the situation. I'm like, oh my gosh, they're gonna think I'm talking to myself. And I'm like, oh my God, that's ridiculous. And then I started laughing even harder because now it looks even worse that I'm laughing at the voices in my head. And that was just like, yeah, I think that, excuse me. Well, I think that was like a moment that I actually truly remember being absolutely hilarious because I was like, oh my gosh, like it's all made up. Everything is made up. But I'm sitting there like talking to myself and then laughing at the fact that I'm laughing at myself. And it's all, I'm like, if they catch what's going on here, I'm going to be locked up for life. I mean, they wanted to, but we can discuss that in another episode, not because of this situation. I don't even know that they caught me in this situation. I don't even know that anybody realized, but it was just a really funny moment that I caught myself laughing for probably about 10, 15 minutes straight. Yeah, that is just what, yeah, that's what came to my head. Okay. Excuse me. Love isn't just romantic. It's cosmic, baby. Ooh, I'm loving the enthusiasm here. What is your cosmic? This is ChatGPT speaking, right? I thought I'd clarify that. What is your cosmic love story with an inanimate object or peculiar habit that brings you endless joy? What? Hang on one second. What is your cosmic love story with an inanimate object or a peculiar habit that brings you endless joy? Okay. Well, for one, that question brings me endless joy because I love the idea of falling in love with an inanimate object. Um, yeah, I don't know that, like, I don't know that see, I love the world. I think the world is amazing. And I think they're using the funny part of this question is that it feels like they're asking about like a love isn't an attachment love. Like, did I fall in love with an inanimate object? I didn't necessarily fall in love. Like, I never felt like a serious attachment to an inanimate object. I think that attachment is part of is closer to our physical beingness world and less to the spiritual aspect of the world. I mean, I did fall in love with an inanimate object. Probably when I was a kid, I had a doll or two, but yeah, I think the universe brings me endless joy when I realize that it does. So, but I don't think I'd call the universe inanimate, but that's a funny question anyways. So yes, thank you for that. It was pretty funny. Let us see. Um, let's see. Let's dream big, ChatGPT says. If you could invite anyone, alive or not, to your love buffet, what's with the love buffet? To your love buffet dinner party, who would it be? And what love-filled dish? Okay, I'm done with ChatGPT. They're getting it. I feel like it's getting very weird. And really, all I'm trying to say, and the point that I'm trying to getting across, is finding the love in what you do. Is finding the thing, idea, maybe even just a little thought, a fleeting thought. Maybe there's just even a piece of art in your office that, you can just be like, wow, that's a really beautiful piece of art. That adds to the atmosphere, to the energy here, and even just then every time you see that, you can look up and just be like, oh, wow, it's good, and it's not about the picture, but it's about your feelings about the picture. And when we recognize that there is something to love in every situation, I think life becomes a lot easier to handle. It becomes a lot more enjoyable. And yeah, that's really what I'm getting at. Like, there's enough love to go around. Even if you dislike something, there can be something in it that you still like. It doesn't mean that it has to be black and white. I dislike it. I dislike everything about it. And when you do find those things that you like, I highly, highly, highly recommend what I do in my life is just leverage it, right? Like, really put the spotlight on there. Really just do it, and it helps. I mean, recognize that obviously it's all made up, right? So that's the fun part about life, is that that's a whole different trip I'm going down, and we're not going to go down there right now. Because that's just a rabbit hole, and I'll have no way of pulling myself out there in 2 minutes, where we're going to be closing up in just a few minutes. So maybe we'll discuss in another episode. But what I was trying to say is just find something, a little something to love in what you do. And even when it gets hard, and even when like you absolutely don't like it, then if there's something that you love inside, it makes it a lot more pleasant and enjoyable. So yeah, I'm going to close up again with the quote that I learned from Dan Millman because I absolutely love it. And he says, a warrior does not give up what he loves. He finds the love in what he does. And I fix that up a little bit, excuse me, that I think I have the right to do that, but it would just be my own quote and not Dan's quote, is that a warrior or a person or someone who absolutely thrives in life or anyone per se does not necessarily do what he loves, but he finds the love in what he does. Because while yes, we can do what we love, there are still going to be things in life that maybe we don't feel great about. And if we have the ability and the understanding that we can find something that we love about it, it makes life a lot lighter, a lot easier to handle. And yeah, I'm sending out, remember that love is all that we are. Our essence, our being, our existence is just a physical manifestation of love. Like that's all it is. And so the second we just remember that and let go of all of our attachments to the noise in our head of like, oh, I don't like it, we're in love. So we're in a state of love. So that's really a great understanding and a great thought. So I hope that, at least for me, it provides a really nice level of relief and fun and goodness. So on that note, we are going to be closing up. I'm sending out so much love and warmth and light and sparkles and surprises and goodness and joy and oh my gosh, so much just good, great everything out to the universe. Thank you for being an avid listener. Thank you for coming on. Thank you for joining me. I look forward to hearing from you. Please reach out to me. Let me know what you thought. Let me know if you had any questions, comments, concerns. If you had any insight or input that you wanted to share with me, please reach out, talk to me. I love hearing from you guys. I've been loving your feedback, so don't be shy. I'm not that intimidating at all. As a matter of fact, I mean, I'm not intimidated by me, but I don't think you should be either. And yeah, questions, comments, concerns, you can find me across all socials at Coach Chevz. And if you have a topic you'd like to hear me discuss here, or if you'd like to maybe even be a guest, or you'd like to join in conversation with maybe a few other people, we can try to have that arranged. So please reach out. I love hearing from you. Let me know if you enjoyed, how much you enjoyed. Was it boring? Was it fun? Was it enlightening? Let me know. And yeah, sending out hugs and lots of great energy. And thank you for listening. And I will talk to you next time.